What is up, guys? This is Cryptic Heartland Podcast, episode number 123.
No, it's not.
Don't mess with me.
I'm just kidding.
I made sure I double-checked today, because last time I was fumbling through that.
Yeah.
Nah, but seriously, it's Cryptic Heartland, episode 123. I'm one of the hosts. I'm Leo. Across the way, you see Jason waving to you, and Andy. And the person in the middle is, I don't know.
Casper.
Herbert, Casper, whatever. No, there's nobody
Arthur.
there. Not Herbert the pervert?
Arthur.
I thought they said Herbert the pervert.
No.
Anywho, sorry. Stay on focus. No, but anyways, we are Cryptic Heartland. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. Make sure you guys like, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, that way you go live with us when we go live. We got some things coming up in the works, some live investigations we're going to start doing, hopefully, and even maybe during this time slot, you never know. So make sure you get notifications turned on, that way you can join us live with us. And away we go, man.
Awesome.
We missed last week because some of us were feeling ill. And like I put out there, no, it wasn't COVID.
No.
It's just the weather's been
Worn
so
down
crazy.
Sinuses and just warming out.
Yeah, Jason and the gang last Friday had the last tour. Not this past Friday, but the week right before Halloween.
It was
had two tours.
Fun.
Or I had one, I guess. One canceled because of COVID. Actually,
Yeah,
one canceled because of COVID.
Because they had 20 people from that group that was actually positive with COVID. So.
Yep.
Oh, really?
So yeah, they ultimately, couldn't do it. Thank God, and I didn't want them to come out and do that anyway.
I was gonna say it's probably good that they decided to cancel for that reason.
Because I've got two friends right now that are positive with it, so they're not doing so well.
Yeah, it's scary, man. It's still running its course. I mean, it's gonna be for a while.
But you know what? It didn't die off on November 5th.
Why November 5th?
Oh, everybody just said after the election it was going to
the election was ongoing till November 7th.
I know. But even as today, it's still going.
It's over.
And we still have the highest record and a high. So,
Anywho, yeah, so we won't go there, kind of.
Kind of.
No, but
anyways. It's a show for everything, right?
Of course.
Okay.
No, nothing's left on the table.
Just not the P word, right?
P word?
Politics.
Oh, bullshit. P word, R word, religion, you name it. Nothing's sacred around here. I mean, if you can't have a good, honest debate, whether we argue or not, disagree, agree, whatever, if you can't have a good talk and still be friends at the end of the day, I mean, there's problems before we even started talking.
Yeah, and then you're probably not as good friends as you thought you were.
Yeah. So, nonetheless, we're here to have fun, guys. We're here for 2 hours. You got us. If you can tolerate us for 2 hours, either way, we're going to be on no matter what. So, kidding. So, no, but life is still happening. I mean, crazy stuff's still going on around the world. I've seen a lot of groups going out there. Kudos to them. We've gone sporadically to places and done some things, but there's a lot of groups doing, public investigations again and doing, investigations of homes and buildings and stuff, whatnot. So I'm glad. So
I know a lot of groups are just doing it on their own, no public or anything. But these public events, I don't know. It's kind of.
It's touch and go.
I don't know.
If you're outdoors, it's a little easier to manage.
Outdoors would be fine.
But a lot of them are in buildings, of course, and homes and stuff like that. And we've talked to some of the guests we had on Apex Paranormal. They're doing events, but they're also wearing masks. I know
wearing
that.
masks when needed in certain areas. Staying away from each other, at least a 6 feet, distance.
I mean, they're doing it right.
Yeah, we'll do it.
So, we'll go back out there soon enough. We have cases we're working on wrapping up still that we've worked on this year and also towards the end of the year, And we got people still asking us for help, so we'll be back. We're coming back stronger than ever.
We're done.
Okay, then.
It's all about us now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, that's cool. So what's been going on in your guys' world? Anything caught your attention lately in the news or anything other than election? We'll get there.
Should we go there?
We're going there. We are going to go there to an extent. I'll tell you why.
To an extent, yeah.
Or we can start there right now. It's up to you.
No, around the world, I don't know. Not much. I think last week or two has just been the one thing that's really been capturing everybody's attention.
Right.
Keeping it busy, but I don't know, just talking with like last night I joined in on the Supernatural fan with Claudia.
Yeah. How'd that go? I forgot all about that. I didn't know it was last night.
Yeah.
You invited me and I
sucked because I was using my phone to zoom in. Yeah. And they couldn't hear me very well, so I'm trying to talk as loud as I can, close up to my phone, so I look like an idiot, But
I was going to say something mean. It's not because of the phone. Trust me. Closer. I'm kidding. If I can't talk shit to my brothers and sisters here, what can I talk shit?
One of these might be chucked at you here soon.
What is it?
take the little.
Hey, if you throw the holy water, I'm going to probably burn up on contact. So be careful there.
That could be a good experience. Put your hand out, your arm out, and let's just drop some. Can we?
No, thank you. I'll pass. Hard pass.
Come on, camera right here.
Let's do it. You brought
Bring
it
out.
Dang it. Maybe it's just water in there. You'll never know.
Are you chicken?
You probably used it all already.
No, but anyways, yeah. So you got to do a guest talk during Supernatural final year season. Season 15, the final year of it. And we like it because, I haven't watched it enough. I watched a couple episodes, not enough. I need to get into it more because it's true to what we do.
What was great about it is the fact that it was just a group of fans talking about their best times. There was one girl on there on the Zoom chat that had her own bunker. She just like in the show,
that's
in
badass.
season 14, 15.
Right.
Her whole background, was kind of like replica stuff.
That's cool.
And everything. And I'm looking at it. Every time she spoke, it goes to her screen,
You forget what she's talking about.
And I'm just looking around at everything. I'm like, man, she even has the light fixture and everything like that in the background. It was cool.
That's awesome.
But, they were hooked on the show just the same as I was.
Right.
And so we went around talking about what we liked about it. It's a show about two brothers that are from Kansas, from Lawrence, Kansas, of all places.
Which is badass.
Yeah, not far from Stoll, Kansas.
Right.
Which
never heard of that place.
I know. Yeah, never been.
I've
been by it.
I've never been there either.
We've been by it. We just didn't stop.
I know a couple of us have gone there for the group after we left Lawrence, our investigation. They stopped by.
Was it Lawrence or Leavenworth?
Yes. I think it was Leavenworth, actually. You're right. I don't know. We go through all those L towns. I don't know. Leavenworth, Lawrence. One of those times, I think they stopped by or went up there on the way. I think it was on the way out there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, because the guy, one of them went, I thought with him wasn't. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Regardless, it's.
We were somewhere.
Yeah, we were up northeast
Kansas,
and they stopped, made it a point to stop by.
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
Which is cool.
But, so Supernatural, what I love about the show is the fact that they keep true to, the lore and the mythology of actual things that we talk about and deal with
and experience
all the time. Mm-hmm. Now, how they go about, killing the spirits and getting rid of it, is a little
that's Hollywood.
But to
a degree.
To a degree, it is, like silver and stuff like that,
they use that.
They use salt rock, in the shotguns. It's not real bullets, it's all salt rock.
Cool.
And, but they were asking, how easy is the EMF reader? They'll just turn it on and all of a sudden they'll just immediately get readings and go right to it. And I'm like, well, that is the show. But they're doing the right idea. So
they're doing the techniques right.
You got to go around, kind of like what Carl said to that other team that was at the depot. You can't just wave it around and expect it to, you get something. You got to take your time, do a whole check of the room and find your hot spots and figure out what is causing that.
Yeah.
I said, but my role on last night was just to kind of whatever questions they asked about real life versus the show and stuff like that.
That's cool.
The show is so much more cooler than
Wait a minute, you saying my life's not cool?
We don't have the car, we don't have the weapons, we don't have.
That's just extra stuff.
But
see more ghosts in one day than we do.
She even asked me. She's like, so have you ever seen a apparition or anything like that, full body, just like you see on TV? And I was like, no.
You've never have?
Me, no.
I'm just curious. I know you've seen the Shadow Person we've seen at the Forum Theater with us because you've been there a part of that.
I've seen shadow figures
and stuff like that. You never seen a full body?
I've never seen a full body with definition, nothing. Now I know a lot of you all have. Have you?
I was going to ask Andy next. I
hate you. Man, no, I'm kidding.
Once.
Yeah. Hey,
really?
Once is good.
Yeah.
Once is good. I still have it. I don't know if I'm just not paying attention or me.
It's the same thing when you're trying to shoot videos or cameras. It's hard. You got to have it pointing in the right direction. Same thing with you being in the moment.
Direction.
Well, that's it. You got to be looking in the right direction. Yeah.
So I remember one of Dan's was up in Topeka.
Yeah.
This last time we helped out with Kathy and
March.
Yeah, and he looked down the staircase or whatever, and as he looked down the staircase, there's a woman that was standing on the staircase looking back up at him. And then he looked again, and she wasn't there.
That's cool.
So, I told her, I said, no, I've seen shadow figures. In Tahlequah, I saw the figure come around from the side of the house and walk our way.
Right.
And that was on our third or fourth trip out there. But I I have
Yeah.
not. I've only seen shadow figures.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen some really good shadow figures that are
Right.
like, you know, looking at us through windows and then peering around the doorway and looking
Sure.
right. You know, I'm like, oh, I see you, little son of a.
Yep.
But no, I
Yeah.
haven't seen it. But it was just cool to talk to them about that and see like their enthusiasm for this show. That, you know, it's sad to say it's going to end, but I already know that they've already been talking about doing a possible movie or
Oh, cool.
doing more to like bring it back to life again.
Right.
So
That'd be cool.
I don't know. It's fun. It's sad.
Yeah.
The show is actually something that really got me started in wanting to do this. You know, it's sure, Ghost Hunters
Yeah.
and all that, and all the ghost shows, but it was really Supernatural that caught
Really?
my attention to wanting to do it. Well,
I guess it's been 15 years. That's true.
yeah. So
It
I
seems
mean,
like it's a newer show to me still, and it's not. I mean,
Yeah.
in my mind, but yeah.
I was already doing stuff, kind of, you know, before I found the team or the team found me.
Right.
Or before I found Kathy Ramirez, you know,
Yeah.
she helped lead the way for me. But
Sure.
I was already into it and everything, but it was the
Right.
show. When I saw that first trailer for the TV show,
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting in my bedroom and I'm watching TV, and it showed Sam driving the car down the dark road, and he looks up and there's a woman in white
Oh, wow.
standing on the road,
Right.
in the road, and he hits her, or at least he thinks he does, and he
Yeah.
slams on his brakes, and then she's nowhere to be seen. He's trying to catch his breath, and he looks in the rearview mirror, and she's sitting in the back seat.
That's the first episode too, right?
That's the first
Yeah,
episode.
I've seen that one. I do remember that one.
So it's really good, and it captures your attention.
Yeah.
It's just,
Right.
and the lore of it, you know, for the longest time, it didn't have anything to do with biblical stuff per se
Right.
until you get to season 4,
Nice.
when you have angels that start to appear,
Cool.
and then you find out that they're a bunch of assholes, basically, you know, all for themselves, basically.
He said it.
Because
That when he was
God,
struck by lightning.
in the show, God is gone. He's left the house.
Oh.
So all the angels are kind of like trying to pick up and be like, well, I'm God now. You know, so because there's no
Right.
leader now. That's why all hell is going on Earth.
Nice.
So, in a nutshell.
Dan said that he still sees
Yeah.
the lady's face
From Topeka.
from the staircase.
Does he have a thing for her?
I think once you see something, you can't unsee it, because the few that I've seen, I'm trying to think of how many I've never counted, honestly. Not that I've seen like hundreds, but I've seen
Yeah.
more than I expect, you know, in different shapes or forms or whatever.
Yeah.
But you remember that stuff.
He was startled. I mean, it got him. I
Yeah.
mean, he was excited when he saw it, but yeah, I think startled because he wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Because he's been there before and didn't have that happen, and then this time he saw it.
That was in Topeka, right?
Yeah.
Mark Abney, one of our viewers, is
Yeah,
asking where it's at.
it was Topeka. It was
Where was the place? Do you remember?
where the Nito Burrito. Remember that Nito Burrito?
Yeah, that what it's called?
Yeah,
So it's right next to Serendipity and all that stuff.
Well, you got Serendipity over here, and
That's
then
on
you
the
got
other end, right?
just a little ways down
Yeah.
is that boutique and Nito Burrito, and it
What
was
boutique?
all upstairs. Yeah, it's like a clothing store and boutique.
Oh, really?
You go in the boutique.
Is
and
that
go
where you
upstairs.
investigated to?
Yeah.
Oh, with the apartment above. Okay. Yeah.
Before
Oh, it was that
before
place?
Dan, before Dan.
Oh,
and I
okay.
think, did you go over
Yeah.
with him over
Yeah.
to
Well,
the karaoke bar area?
no, I was with you at the tattoo shop.
That's right. You were with me at the tattoo. Dan went over to the to the other place. But anyway, yeah, it was upstairs in that boutique area, I think, is where he had that apparition.
That's where I saw the one. Did we see her? We heard her, the little girl.
Yeah.
Because the guest heard her too. And I'm like, good. Finally, somebody other than me is hearing this crap. Well, I mean, especially in a public place like that.
I know.
They're like, did you guys hear it? Everybody's like freaking out. I didn't really say anything yet because I heard it. I'm like, oh, and I started walking that way.
Yeah.
So they got into it. I wasn't on the same trip that time. It was a different
Right.
trip. The first time we went out there.
But no, those places are really cool.
Well, they're old. They're in the 1800s, late 1800s. Because I was doing some research on some of those just randomly one day, even like in the last 2 weeks for some reason. I don't remember why. And
that whole strip right
yeah.
there is pretty damn cool.
I'm trying to remember what building's there. I don't think it's Serendipity. It's the one next to Serendipity. It's like one of their
oldest or whatever.
Was it their U.S. mail place at one time? And it's old. It was like from the 1850s or something like that, 57. Maybe not that old, but maybe it was late.
I got to get back to my researching stuff.
Yeah. I just be sitting in the middle of nowhere and daydream and do it. I got to go do it once I start on something in my mind.
I used to do a lot of my research when I worked at the hospital
Yeah.
and was third shift, and I had nothing to do.
More time too.
So I do a lot of research and stuff.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't have that anymore. Unless it's like late at night in bed,
You can do when you're driving.
I'm like,
I'm kidding.
You have to sleep.
I'm happy. Well, then I drop my phone on me, and then it's like, okay, it's time to go to bed now.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I need
No.
to do a lot more research on stuff and get back
Yeah.
to doing that a lot more, because that's my favorite thing to do is find that information
Oh yeah.
and not tell you guys, but yet when we're doing it, I can be like, oh, that goes along with the history of this and this
Yeah.
and this.
See, I try not to look at a place before you go investigate. That way, I'm not jaded.
Yeah.
In my investigative skills, like, hey, Colonel Sanders, are you here? Kind of a thing,
Oh.
versus just randomly looking. Hey, this is Colonel here.
I do have some news to share. Yeah, I got us a new location.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
It happened
He was
within
excited.
10 minutes before the last tour.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So is it local?
Yeah.
Nice.
Right there and what I want to thank is my small bladder, who I had to go to the bathroom, and
Okay.
I went into the other billiards side.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Not the
Not the
it's a
place?
different bar now over there, but now it's the billiards is like totally different, and they blocked it
But
off.
the same place, right?
Same place.
Okay, yeah,
So
by the
I went
corner.
in, and the guy recognized me from several times I've been out there. And
Yeah.
he
Who's this
doesn't-
creep out there?
He's sitting there eating pizza, and he's like, "I know you. I've seen you." And everything.
Yeah.
He's like, "You're part of the tour," and I was like, "Well, I run it."
Yeah.
So we got
Talking
to
about
talking.
goes
and-
towards the Kansas and Wichita.
Yeah.
His
Yes.
walking toward the Atlanta tour.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I'm just tagging it because people
Yeah.
are like, what tour? Where are you at?
Yeah,
Kind
goes
of a
towards
thing.
Kansas,
Yeah.
which we still have
You want to do private?
private tours. Get a hold of me.
Get a hold of Jason. We'll take you
Yeah.
some fun places.
You can reach out here on Cryptic Heartland or Road Trip Paranormal
Yeah.
or Everyday Legacy Paranormal.
Yeah.
Reach out. I will give you a tour.
And sometimes the private tours are a little better because you get to go on behind the scenes places.
Oh.
and
Do a lot more. than-
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do a lot.
you never
more.
know. So yeah, reach out to us and book
Yeah.
a tour. Man.
I like
It's
to
fun.
give people their money's worth. If they're going to
Yeah.
pay for a tour, I want to give it the best. that
Right. I
can.
don't blame you. Yep.
You want to go see something? Let's go see something.
So this guy, you go back to the guy, the owner, or
I was
the guy
already
that runs
done
it.
talking about
No, no,
that.
you got
Okay.
me. You piqued my interest.
So yes, so
he recognized you.
I went
eating
in
pizza.
and he, and I used his restroom, but yeah, I was taking pictures because I got a picture of George Polis, his mugshot.
Really? He's
Yeah,
in
I
there?
got a
It's in
picture
there?
of that, huh?
It's in there?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So that, not his mayor one, but just his mugshot.
Was he mayor?
No, he ran for mayor.
Oh, I didn't know
He
that.
ran for mayor.
We're talking about George Polis.
Polis.
I
Something
think
like
it is.
that.
There's a guy here in Wichita, well known because, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but I don't care. I mean, he's dead now, and
Yeah.
rest in peace. But he was there's a Wichita mafia, mob, whatever you want to call it,
Just like
criminal,
anywhere else.
yeah.
It just happened to have a
That he
syndicate
had-
here.
ties to.
Yeah.
And we got to interact possibly with him at this location. I can't say, but
Apparently, the people that knew him heard the EVPs and
Well, we
knew
got-
that was him.
yeah, and they told us not to do it because there's so many families around still to this day that it could interact with, or they might have questions, and it just whatever. But nonetheless, George Paulus was connected to the Wichita Mafia. We're talking about like Hollywood movie type, where they supposedly, Molotov cocktail threw a bomb through a building. A
Oh, yeah.
competitor.
He
It's all alleged, kinda.
he is well known. It's on the internet. You
Yeah,
can read
yeah,
about
but
him
I
and
want to be
stuff.
careful what we say. That way, nobody tries to sue us or.
Oh yeah, it's
whatever,
all over the
defamation.
internet. So I'm just repeating what is actually there.
And
so.
God knows the internet's true.
Oh yeah,
Everything you
it's
read.
out there. So if they want to, sue somebody, they can sue the
Right.
people.
Well,
who
there's
wrote
more
it.
than just sue. I'm worried about a little bit. Not worried.
I don't know any more than what they wrote. You know,
Keeping an eye on.
but no, they. It was just well known that if you did anything bad to him, your business might get burned down.
Right.
Your house might get burned down.
Right.
Something bad was going to
Yeah.
happen. But
Well, the guy ended up going to prison because
yeah.
I went to school at Wichita State, and one of my teachers was he was a district attorney, U.S. district attorney at one time, and Jackie Williams is his name, and he was the guy that prosecuted him, if I remember right.
Really?
I think so, yeah. And so anyways, the guy did prison time, and then turned around and became friends with the guy. Like George became friends with
Is
Jackie.
that the one that has letters from
Yes,
him?
probably, yeah.
Renee
Yep.
was telling me something.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
From what I hear, he was.
Oh no! I know what you're talking about. That's for Charles Manson.
Okay.
Sorry,
That's
that's
right.
one of our teachers from Dodge City. I know what you're talking about. Sorry.
Different story.
Yeah, but it's similar. It's similar. He stayed in contact with them, became acquaintances over the
Different
years.
crime group. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
But no, from what I hear, Polis was like, a decent person to talk to, and if you're buddies with him, you're buddies
if you're
with
good friends with him, he's your
your
best friend. If not, keeping up, sleeping one eye open kind of mentality.
But after he got out of prison, he wrote a book and ran for mayor.
Yeah, I know he reformed his life allegedly. That's what they said. I don't know much about other than that, so I can only say what I know briefly. But the weird thing that always struck me odd is he was found dead at the bottom of his staircase in his basement. I mean,
I know.
Draw your own conclusions.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't say what. I mean, it's never really been. I'm sure
there's
the autopsy
speculations
said.
of something else happened. But
so was a hit put on him after all these years? We're talking Wichita Mafia ran in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s around there. Maybe 50s, 60s. I want to say
50s, 60s probably.
Yeah, and this was in early 2000s when he passed away, or maybe late 90s. Regardless, it's just.
Yeah, it was weird.
It sticks with you. It sticks with you.
But it was so cool. But anyway, the owner of that place said that he'd love for us to go in there. So
cool. Does he have any claims?
Oh yeah.
Cool. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. So I left him a card, and I'm gonna go down and meet with him soon. So
nice. We're
gonna set up a time for us to go in and have a little fun.
I don't like fun.
It's now it's I don't care what you like. It's not as big of a place now because the Billy Goat bought the other section of it.
Yep.
So they had to close down that fire door and lock it, so they can't go back and forth. So we only got one big section and everything. But you know what? It's cool. I'll tell you some more off camera and everything about it.
Love to hear it.
But yeah, he's excited. I'm excited, and it's right there. So
cool.
And just a little throw out for Lena Townsend.
Cool. What's up?
She's going to start doing some of her readings here in Delano at 535 Salon starting in December.
Yep.
So we're going to have weekends when she can come out and do that.
Nice. I know you were talking about that.
Cool. I already talked to her about it. So we're and I spoke to the owners too.
Well, I figured as much. I know you talked to her.
Stacy just said, absolutely, go for it.
That's cool. I'm glad they've embraced that.
Yeah.
Because they were real iffy because they experienced the place Jason's talking about. We've been there. We've done it on the Cryptic Heartland show, investigated live, and Salon 535, a perfect touch in Wichita, Kansas. Well, Delano is where it's at. And basically, it's fun. It's a fun place, and we interact with something every time, different things possibly at different times. But Lena's going to come down and use a spot down there and do some readings, her readings down there. So good on her.
I've had a reading and I've always wondered about him.
Yeah.
I've had readings, and I know with Lena herself several times. I know several others on the team that have.
Yeah.
My personal experience is she was spot on. So if you've ever wondered, come join us.
The only thing I've really done with Lena is when we were at Midland Hotel. And
you and me. Yeah.
She kept I want to do a reading on you. She kept singling me out. I'm like, not going to do it. Not because I'm scared to. It's just. I think we're too big of an open book. I think it's easy to pick apart stuff. Not that I don't trust Lena, I do, because I've seen her work miracles in crowds. Even that's just funny to see.
Pinpointing you out with her room reading that she's doing.
So, but what I found intriguing is she did a quick little 5-card thing with Jason and I, and we both got the same thing almost. It was funny.
Yeah, we both picked the same cards. And it was like what,
money and leadership and
from each
it was just passing. Yeah, and I didn't know Jason did it.
She just said, "Come over here."
I'm like,
pick
"Watch."
a card, and I'm like, "All right."
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I picked really good cards, and she had some really good things to say.
Yep.
And then I go out and tell you, I was like, "Well, Lena trapped me," and she got, she had me pull some cards and stuff. And you're like, "Oh, those are the same ones I pulled."
Yeah.
And I'm
it's
like,
funny.
I was like, wow.
So she's, it's good stuff, man.
But no, I'm excited for her because there's already a lot of people who are ready to come out and see her. There's a whole family that's ready to meet her.
Yeah.
So
I bet. Yeah, she's going to do great here because
once
the word gets out,
I was talking about her on the tours and stuff.
Yeah.
with some of the groups, and one group was like, "Oh, we want to do it. Yeah, absolutely. Let us know." So
very cool. Yeah, once that spreads, or once word gets out that she's in town doing those, it'll spread like wildfire.
yeah,
it's gonna be good for her.
It's down in Delano, so it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, that's a great location, definitely. I was going back to George real quick. Paulus, he said he got convicted on stuff as early as dating back to the 1948. It said, or 1948.
Yeah, he was an old.
And he died in 2010.
2010.
They found him dead at the bottom of some stairs in his home. It said, although the cause of death was pending, it is suspected he may have fallen and hit his head.
Well, of course he fell.
Was he pushed?
Was he pushed, or
was it a
just
hit?
tripping,
I mean, poor guy. That's no way to die. He was 85 years old, but still. That's after he made amends.
You don't want to live your whole life, even if you're, a pain in the butt.
Right.
You don't want to live your whole life to that age and die like that.
Yeah.
What always gets me, the people who were murdered, elderly, beat up, fall down, not found for a long time.
Oh, I know.
That just
how long did they
that
lay
stuff
there?
just breaks my heart. You live your whole life, and that's how you go out.
Right. It's scary, man. Yeah, but I mean, it could happen to anybody, young or old.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I mean, but still, yeah, I'm with you on that, especially with an elderly person, because
I don't want to change the subject or anything,
Subject.
but I did local news this week. They finally put Red's.
Oh, the headstone.
I saw that. Yes.
Oh, good. Very cool.
Yes, I saw that too. Because then I found out some more things on him I didn't know. Possibly, I mean, some of the backstory.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unanswered questions on the whole story. I mean, there's nothing black and white that says what we know majority of the story, and we're not wrong.
Right.
It's just there's some extra stuff I didn't know about.
There was the big shootout was.
Hold on. Before we go into that, what we're talking about, viewers at home, this is outside, close to the Salon 535, where Lena's going to be doing her readings here in Wichita. Back in the Wild West days of Wichita.
1873.
Yep. There was it's called Delano, Kansas. It was called Elgin before.
Yeah.
And they changed it to Delano. And this
totally
was
separate city.
Yeah, from Wichita. And then now, once they later on, it became West Wichita in quotations. But what do you call it? It was where the saloons were. The dance halls, the girls,
the brothels, the red light district area.
Red light district. And there was two bar owners, competing bar owners, which was is it Edwin Redbeard?
Yeah.
And Joe Lowe.
Rowdy Joe and Rowdy Kate.
Joe Lowe is his name. Yeah. So Rowdy Kate, his wife. Well,
and that's what they went by.
Yep.
But Joe Lowe and Kate Lowe.
But
they were there first too.
Yeah. Redbeard came in later, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So, and I guess what they were saying, what I read recently, and it's what we know. I guess Kate came over to Joe's bar, or I'm sorry, Kate came over with a patron over to Red's bar, and basically was starting they were just having some disagreements and shit, because he knew who she was, obviously.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, did she shoot first? I don't remember. Anyway, no, I'm sorry. He basically chased her out, whatever.
Yeah.
And shot out, and she came into Rowdy Joe's bar, and started firing and hit one of Joe's girls.
Yeah,
and shot
one
her.
who wasn't even part of it.
Yeah, just a random girl working.
Shot her,
yeah.
and she got hit in the stomach and died.
Yeah, so of course Joe returns fire and hits Redbeard, and he staggers out and dies, basically, right?
Nope.
He dies, kind of a gunshot. I don't know.
Totally. So that was one incident, and then another incident was how it all came about was when Red was totally, because he lost his bar to fire.
Right. That's right.
He got really. That's when he became a drunk. Didn't like the Lowe's because they were reaping all the money from him not having a business anymore. It was Union soldiers that burnt it down too, because they were messing with one of his girls, and he started shooting at them to get him out of the building.
Right.
And then all that happened, but. He gets so drunk one night, and and it was in October of 1873 when he goes over and sees Joe at the bar, and he just takes aim, and gunfight just ensues, and then they chase each other, and that's when they said you can kind of pick and choose the story or the outcome of what you want, because eyewitness account sucks, as most eyewitness accounts do.
Sure.
Right. Was it a plane, a weather balloon, or a UFO?
Not then. Just kidding.
But he chased. Joe chased Red, whether it was on horseback in like the Old West, or was it they were just on foot.
Right.
Most likely just on foot, chasing each other and shooting, and that's when Ray gets hit in the shoulder and the hip.
Mm-hmm.
And he dies. He fell over there by the river, by the Arkansas River, or
right.
Arkansas River, whatever you want to call it. Politically correct. But he died, like, several days later. He died from, like, the wounds.
Yeah.
Infection and everything just got the best of him.
Right.
Joe was arrested but acquitted.
Yeah. They said that Joe moved away, and there's two stories of how he met his demise, supposedly. Part of it was one of them, it was met with some Indians, possibly. They shot him, and that's one story going around.
That's one story that no one has ever confirmed or where that came from.
Right.
But
so supposedly riddled with bullets they found, allegedly.
Yeah.
But that one seems to err on the side of a mate more... I don't know, maybe glorification of how he went out. The other one is he went to, was it
Denver,
Colorado? Yeah, I was going to say Colorado. And
after Wichita or Delano kicked him out because they didn't like what happened, and he lost business, and he closed down and left.
Yep.
So he's like in a saloon, and you could tell it.
No, go ahead.
Yeah,
the story.
It's like, he was in the bar, and he was just drunk and bad mouth, and he was an elderly man at this time.
Right, it was later in life.
And the sheriff, or the deputy, I don't know which lawman was in there, but started causing problems with him, and knowing that Joe had a reputation of killing somebody, didn't even blink an eye, and instead of, because Joe was armed and everything, so instead of like even having a chance of a gunfight, he just pulled out his pistol and shoots him.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dead.
Yep.
Get rid of the old guy.
That's insane.
So that's how he goes, and no word on Kate and what happened to her. I think she left him.
I think so too. Yeah, typical probably saloon scenario, husband and wife team back in those times.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's crazy is we've actually interacted possibly. I say possibly because he didn't come out of the corner to say, "Hey, I'm Redbeard." But we did some interaction, EVP, Spirit Box, at the salon that Lena will be doing her business out of.
Yeah.
I've asked who was here, because they've seen a cowboy there, red beard, texture colored,
I think you got red one time.
I did. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of going up to is the fact that we caught. I'm saying, who's here with me? Say your name, whatever, and he goes red. I'm like, and I didn't hear it at first, so I kept pressing, and he goes red, and he kept saying, I was like, oh, red, is that you? And he goes, yeah. So now, is it him? Maybe not. The owners have seen him. They've seen this cowboy figure in red in that same area near where the bars should have been, roughly.
Yeah. Now, some of the girls that work at the salon who have seen him, they don't work there anymore. But, they've seen a cowboy with the beard and the kind of the mustache that kind of goes up, but he's got red hair and he's well dressed in the old West fashion, and he appears in their chairs, or he flirts with them, stands behind them, and whispers hello to them, and all this stuff.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Fun.
Yeah. The thing that I feel like an idiot after all these years is I didn't know Beard was his actual last name.
Oh.
I thought they just called him Red Beard because he had a red beard and shit. No, Beard was his real name. Red because of the color of his hair. I'm like, what an idiot, man. All this time I've been regurgitating these stories. I happened to just stumble across it this weekend. I'm like,
sorry, I
should
have told you that,
man.
Too.
No, I feel stupid for not knowing that. It's just like we would say Rowdy Joe and Redbeard every time we mention those two. We never really get into their full names.
Red.
I would have assumed that too had I not read.
That's when I read it. Oh, really? When Jason
Kathy was going over the stories and research that she'd done too, I thought the same thing. And so I'm reading the stories and stuff. I'm like, so Redbeard, kind of like Blackbeard and Yellowbeard. And
that's exactly where my head went all these years.
But then when I did my research too, I was like, oh, last name, okay.
Yeah, and it's like, no, his name is Edwin Beard.
Yeah.
They just called him Red for short because red color hair. I'm like, oh, what an ass I am. That's funny. No, I just thought it was the comical. No, but what Andy was alluding to is they this weekend they gave his headstone. His family members put up a headstone in Highland. Because forever I guess he was always buried there, but it was unmarked. I guess.
I guess so. And they had. I mean, I guess the cemetery may have had a place where they knew where he was.
Yeah.
But
that's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
possibly.
But they just no one ever paid up to have one done.
Right. No, but some of his, descending family members decided to go ahead and do that, and it
happened
this past week or weekend or something like that. Yeah. Which is very cool. Yep.
I want to say it was like Thursday.
Is that when it was?
That I saw it on the news.
Yeah. I read in the paper or online paper. I don't get an actual paper. This isn't, 19 whatever.
You're not old
Everything's
school.
on. Yeah, well, I'm old, but not school. No, I'm
I
kidding.
thought it was neat seeing it though, because I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I thought about like going out and just seeing the headstone, paying some respect.
Yeah, I definitely will. It's in Highland, and I've never been to Highland at all. I always go to Maple across the street because
I've been to Highland.
I know you have. Yeah.
There's an outlaw that's buried out there too.
Yep. Civil War soldiers out there too on both sides.
Oh yeah.
The street, yeah, on Highland and Maple. But yeah, the original, one of the original Buffalo Codys, right? Not the one everybody knows.
Yeah, not Buffalo Bill Cody, but the original Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, Buffalo, not Cody.
Because he was a Buffalo ranch owner.
Yeah.
So here
That's
locally,
why.
so they, he got that
but
name.
he was Buffalo Bill before Buffalo Bill Cody was Buffalo Bill.
Probably.
That's what they say. That's what I've read.
The original Buffalo.
Yeah, he just wasn't as famous because he didn't go around.
Now the outlaw that's out there is really cool, and I forget his name.
Come
I have
on.
to look it up. No,
Come on, Mr. History.
I can't remember.
Dang it.
But he was a well-known outlaw that, not to your typical like Jesse James or anything like that.
Not
but
nobody that famous, yeah.
he was being hunted by the Union soldiers and everything, and so they were like tracking him down, and they found him inside this, I guess, saloon or bar or whatever. He was playing poker and everything, and he saw them through the windows kind of coming around and rounding the building. So he ducks out the back, and he's, firing and shooting, and he takes out several of the soldiers before he ducks into the outhouse and pretty much seals his doom, basically, and they just unload on the outhouse and kill him. So he's buried out there in Highland, and I've seen his grave. I went to his grave. Legend has it is when Wild Bill Hickok was coming into town, he made a purpose stop to go pay his respects there to the guy.
That's cool.
Because for some reason he knew him or knew about him, and I guess it was enough for Wild Bill Hickok to actually go and pay his respects and tip a hat to him and then move on. So,
man, it's so baffling to me. Sorry, I mean, step on your words there, but it's so baffling to me. Like some of the most famous outlaws in history are centered around Missouri, Kansas, everything from Jesse James in Missouri, Kansas to Wild Bill, or you just said his name, Wild Bill Hickok.
Yeah.
He was running around Newton and areas in that area, and just places like that, which is just baffling to me. And Dodge City, of course, and White Earp, of course, my favorite. And people like that, it's just like, man, we got so many historical ties to the Old West here in our own state.
And there's probably so much more about it in history that we don't even know because Wichita doesn't do anything to embrace it.
I mean, they got the Cowtown, which that does a good, decent job. I mean, as far as what's there, as far as the buildings, historical stuff.
I think they could do a lot more.
Oh yeah, I know Dodge City could too.
Yeah.
I mean, Dodge City has a place. I mean, they have Boot Hill, and it's not the original location, but it's close by.
Yeah.
But a lot of people go in there expecting to see like Cowtown type, where it's original buildings and stuff like that, and it's basically replicas of the buildings.
Yeah.
But the artifacts inside Boot Hill is authentic. Amazing. They have White Earp's one of his 6 shooters in there, and things like that. There's other people's guns in there from a while.
Supposedly they have Doc Holliday's saddle.
And did she tell us that when we were down there?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I kind of remember hearing that. Now you say that.
It was during one of our last times there. She's like, we're hopefully when we build the new museum, his saddle can be displayed finally.
Cool.
But it's been down in storage for all this time.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, hope it was taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're we're only one of the only teams. Sorry, we're only one of the teams that ever investigate there.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal. Because I lived in Dodge City for years, and I always wanted to go. And I always had a weird place. I've talked to some of the people that worked there, now, but people from past, and they was always talking about certain areas that were really weird. Lights would turn on by themselves and off, and they would get in trouble because the owners would be like, "Oh, turn the lights off." It's like we did, and they would be on, and especially in the house. Sorry, Andy, go ahead.
I think that you brought up Doc Holliday.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did you say? Wild Bill, that's it.
Wild Bill. Mm-hmm.
One moment. Wild Bill Hickok. I have a local friend that he was related to Wild Bill.
Oh, wow.
And so the generations passed down. So my friend currently has the trunk that he'll pass down to his son that was Wild Bill's that has a lot of personal problems.
And who's this friend and why haven't we met him yet?
Yeah. Well, anytime.
Yeah, I want to check it out. Definitely, at least lay eyes on it. That'd be cool.
No, if I want to touch it, but it's artifacts.
I kind of wanted just to see if there's any kind of energy vibrations off of it, or any kind of stories you can feel.
When I helped them move, and it was pretty decent maybe this wide, about that big, and
really. And we're talking Wild Bill Hickok, right? Mm-hmm. That's awesome,
yeah.
Dude. Huh?
See, I'd like to go track down the family that could be the extended family of Jesse James. That, you know, his wife and kids and all that. Well, after watching that documentary, and the same guy who made the documentary had a Jesse James museum in Delano at one time.
Oh yeah, you did say
that.
There
was a Jesse James museum in Delano.
There's
crazy. Photographs of it. And I'm like, what the, you know? So it's not there now.
And go to the family.
Oh, I've already been there many times.
Jason lives there.
I want to go back. I want to take you guys back. They closed for COVID, but I think they're open now.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you have the farmhouse that's there, and it's beautiful. I mean, the whole the whole landscape is like awesome. You got the original cabin where he may have actually been born in. Has the fireplace where the Pinkertons blew up the bomb, threw it in and blew it up. You can still see the scorch marks from the bomb.
Yeah.
It blew off his mom's arm, killed the little brother.
It's crazy.
All that. Then connected to it is Frank's house. So when Frank was, finally done and acquitted for everything, him and his wife built onto it more modern style house.
Wow.
And you can tour it all. Crazy thing about all this is like you had all that and all the original furnishings were in it and still in it.
Right.
Pictures on the wall. For years it sat vacant. For decades. Hunters would use it as a hunting cabin.
Oh my God.
And they said that almost everybody knew who it was and who it belonged to, and they respected it and didn't do nothing to it. The only thing ever stolen from it was a pair of the legs to the icebox were taken.
What? Why?
But other than that,
Why
from Frank and his wife's, modern day icebox machine, the legs were taken from it. That's but crazy. Other than that, there's pictures on the wall. Jesse James, children, all that.
That's
all
crazy.
There. The beds that Mom slept in and everything like that. Possibly Jesse and his, all there, the frame, So when I went there one time, the tour guy was just like, well, it's just you. Go ahead and touch anything you want to.
Oh my God.
So here I was like,
I was trying on leftover clothes.
I was touching everything.
That
I was like
crazy.
running my hands on everything, I was like,
so
part of me is here.
Is the place, has it been reported haunted or anything? I know.
So the Miller Group.
Really?
The Miller Group.
I think you may have told me this before.
The Miller Group actually did. So the same group that I met at the Forum Theater and Misty, the psychic. They investigated it. They have audio. They have her complete readings that she did on the whole thing. And she said that when they were investigating, they could actually hear horses on the property and hear horses running by and stuff like that. And she said that the story that she's getting and what she caught was there is so Frank was the main one that was always being hunted down. Not so much Jesse, but Frank, because Frank went off to war. He was part of Cantrell's group and all that. So Frank was the one that was being hunted. So the mom would always get visited by people looking for him. And they're always asking her questions and stuff like that. And she's like, I don't know, the boys could be home soon. I don't know. And finally time would just go by and she'd just get tired of the guy being there and she'd just fucking shoot him. She'd just shoot him.
Jesus.
And so when the boys got home, she's like, all right, go take care of the body.
Dispose of the body.
You didn't mess with Mom. She was she took care of her family and her boy. She, and apparently she, now that's where he,
that's home to me.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in a second. But
that's
huh?
This isn't the home.
That's the one where he Jesse.
Okay, I was gonna pull this up.
No, do Jesse James farmhouse.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
this one's in
St.
Joe.
This is in St. Joe. What you're looking at right there. I have been inside that one too.
That's got the bullet hole in the floor.
Now let me tell you something though. So if you read the actual newspaper about the trial and everything, and the doctor who did the the coroner basically. He's on trial, and he's talking about the shooting of inside that house. And he goes, "Yeah, I found the bullet behind the left ear."
Also the one.
There is no bullet hole in the wall. So, my question is, so if he's standing up there and looking and dusting off and fixing the picture, and he's shot from behind, the bullet is going to possibly go up, go out, whatever.
It's a JFK thing again.
Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is.
I know.
So the bullet hole would have went into the wall, right?
Right.
Possibly.
Sure.
So the theory is, and this is all from that documentary from the guy who had the museum in Wichita. He said that what happened was Jesse was in town in St. Joe, and what you guys are looking at right now is
that's the farmhouse.
That's
right?
the farmhouse.
In Kearney?
So, in Kearney, Missouri.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can tour the whole thing, and it's awesome. That's the original cabin. It's been renovated, of course, to keep up. They've done some good things with it, but that. Oh man, they've done so much work with it, and the newer part of it is Frank's house, but he just kind of extended it. So he opened up the wall and kind of just so it's one big thing.
So which part's the newer part? Is it the longer
the White
part?
House? The White House.
The one that looks better.
Yeah, the one with the wooden like pillars and all that.
Yeah, okay.
That's the cabin.
I gotcha.
That's the house. So
Cool.
that's the one the Pinkertons attacked, and where Jesse was, beat up by Union soldiers looking for Frank and all that. Yeah, so it's crazy. So anyway, from the documentary, he was bumming around town forever with a guy in town that looked just like him. They were the same height, beard, they looked alike, and they were kind of in the same business. Jesse was faking to be a businessman and whatnot, just hiding out with his wife and 2 kids in town. He had a totally different name, all that. Now, the story is, if you look at the body in the ice.
I'm already coming. Hold on. I'm already ahead of you.
Okay, all right. So
I'm gonna pull it up right now.
So
Sorry.
I'll wait for Leo to pull it up. So
1 second.
I'm waiting. All right.
For the viewers at home, not you.
I know.
It's coming. We promise.
Got a lot of clicks.
There is stories about the body. For one.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so it's black and white, and you can't really tell too much from that. Now, on the right shoulder, there's a blood stain. So he's like, he fell and at least landed on his head or something, like landed on that, because it matches the wound on the head.
Right.
Now, the coroner found the bullet, the slug, behind the left ear.
Okay.
What the documentary suggests is that he made a friend with this guy, and then Bob, the other, and his brother helped Jesse attack this guy one night, so Jesse could run off and be free. So what they did is they smacked the guy on the head, which is where he has that bump on his head and his wound. As he fell, he goes for his gun, but they wrestle with him, and that's why his fingers are all bruised, like going for a gun and all that. He's got bruising around his fingers and all that. And then they shot him from an angle of down, not up, but they shot him from down. And also, a 20-year-old Jesse James had the worst receding hairline in the world. I mean, he was looked like he was going bald in his 20s. Where you see this guy has more of a prominent, hair. Now, what also gets me is the story of Mom coming to see the body.
Right.
It took them a long time to convince her that was Jesse. Frank is going, "Mom, no, this is Jesse." And everyone in the room goes, "No, this is Jesse." She was adamant, "That's not my son. That's not my son."
A mother would know her kid.
Yeah, yes, she's in shock because her little boy is dead, but she was very adamant that, see that hair, man.
That's Jesse.
See the hairline?
Yeah,
it doesn't match the guy in the bed at all. So you have that, and it's just crazy. It's a fun story to kind of read and go about. Can you prove it? I don't know, probably not. But the hairline doesn't doesn't work too well for that. And the wounds in the story does kind of match up to the wounds on the body. And so that body is actually buried in Kearney, Missouri. So whoever that is buried in, yeah. He was buried on the family farm, and his original tombstone is there. People were, she had rocks all around it, and once she was like finally accepted that that's Jesse, wink wink, hey, that's Jesse, she started making money off of people coming out to the farm.
Mom did?
Pay $1 or pay 50 cents to come over here and take a rock from his grave. She knew how to work it. She was all happy and fun about it then. Mm-hmm. But at the moment, she was like, that's not my son. Where's my son? And Frank and everybody, his cousins, were like, no, Mom, that's him. That's him.
They needed that united front.
Yeah. So, and then there's a whole nother story of a guy who lived in Kansas who... Yeah. I mean, I could go on and on about it, but I won't. We can move on.
I've always had, I guess, an infatuation with Jesse James, hearing about him in school, growing up, and then with my family being and still living in St. Joe, Missouri, and the house being there. And going there several times.
That's the real house. I mean, he lived in that. It's not the exact spot. They moved it from the hill over to this location to more in town to where it's more next to another museum. So it's kind of like Museum City right there.
Mm-hmm. Next to the Patey Museum, and it was an old hotel. So the day that Jesse was supposedly killed in the house, his wife went to the Patey hotel and stayed. That's now a museum.
Wow. So you said the Miller Group caught like the hooves and stuff like that. What else? What other reported haunted stuff? I mean, if anything,
from the voices, mom was there. Jesse's mom was definitely in the house in the rocking chair.
Wow.
She was, watching them very intently. She, they said that she just had that demeanor of like,
why are you here?
Why are you here? And I'm watching every move you make, and my boys aren't here.
Don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's cool though. I mean, back like she would have. Yeah. During that time, I mean, if it's truly,
it's a fun place to go to. Yeah. But my big infatuation is the Billy the Kid and all that. So
yeah, definitely.
That's my.
Some more team road trips.
I am dying to go to New Mexico and go to Lincoln County and go to Lincoln and see all that and see where Billy the Kid was, and
for sure.
I want to see it so bad. I want to turn off the lights and get a black light and see where the blood was. I already know from the TV shows. Like Brad Metzler's Decoded went there, and where the blood stain is on the staircase does not match up to where Pat Garrett said it all happened, so it contradicts the story and kind of changes everything.
Right.
I don't know. I could go on all night.
No, that's fine. We got off on a tangent based upon Wichita, outlaws and stuff like that and whatnot.
Well,
the more famous
Wichita
ones
doesn't embrace it. I mean, there's like...
Well, it's even with paranormal, they have a hard time letting people in because...
I know. Tell me about it.
Okay.
I'm
kidding.
Unless you make them sign a contract to keep you in.
Yeah, we won't go there.
I know we have a lot going on team-wise, like public investigations, private investigations, but if we ever had the chance to help change it one day, that'd be...
Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
Craziness. No, just kind of, I mean, it's interesting what's out there, his story, historical and stuff like that. And
I love history.
I did too.
I love digging into stuff.
Yeah, which kind of, a small segue into what I was going to bring up earlier. We all know right now the state of the world or the state of the U.S. is in flux, kind of, with this whole president-elect thing. And it's not what I want to talk about. I'm not here to talk about political rants. I don't care whose side any of you guys are on. I mean, I know already.
We're not name calling each other.
Nah. I mean, like I said.
Respectful.
But one thing that was actually my wife had told me was she asked me if I knew about the curse of Tippecanoe. And I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, I've heard. I know Tippecanoe is. I know what it is. It's Indian.
It sounds familiar.
It's also kind of called the curse of Tecumseh, which is Egyptian, I think, right? The Tecumseh? That's Indian also. I apologize. But no, for sure Tippecanoe is. And what this is I found it very fascinating. I had to go look it up to see what it was because she told me about it. Hang on, let me pull it back up because I clicked out of it by accident. So, what it is, and it has to do with presidency. That's why I find it intriguing, because it plays into possibly right now.
Really?
So what this is it's also called the 20-year presidential curse. It's a pattern of deaths of people in office of the presidency of the U.S. elected in the years that are divisible by 20 or end in 0, kind of like. So this is going to be, got to be careful. Biden just got elected. So we think, no, I don't know what the answer is. So it's announced in 2020. So he could fall technically in this curse. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen.
Right.
But in the state that we're in right now, it kind of, you never freaking know with people out there right now.
Yeah.
Especially how 2020's been so
right.
messed up already.
Granted, he didn't take office until 2021, but he was elected in 20. So the list of presidents that have fit in this category, basically. So it was William Henry Harrison.
Yep.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yep.
James A. Garfield. William McKinley. Warren G. Harding. Franklin D. Roosevelt. John F. Kennedy. So with that in mind, and Ronald Reagan, he didn't die obviously in office.
Right.
Or George W. Bush, but
they had the attempts.
That's what we're going to go with, assassination attempts on these guys. I didn't know about George Bush. I forgot about George Bush's attempt. So let's slow it down here.
Yeah, Reagan had his assassination. Yeah.
So leading off was William Henry Harrison. Now there's a couple that have escaped out of this. But
Harrison, is he the one who died from?
Who was that? Harrison?
Yeah.
He was elected in 1840. He was in office, and he died in 1841. He didn't even make it barely a year. He died of typhoid.
Okay.
So, and he died in office, which, okay, it happens.
Yeah.
Think about the times. 1840s, not the best healthcare system, probably.
No.
Then came 1860, 20 years later. Abraham Lincoln, we all know what happened to him. He got assassinated, by John Wilkes Booth, and, during his presidency, which, Civil War now. I mean, think about that. We're kind of facing that.
Right.
In essence, right now, possibly, people are upset about this
A war of words, maybe.
Yeah, I hope that's all it is, because we can't as a country go through it.
My question is a friend of mine who doesn't think the way I do. Is he really going to shoot me?
You wouldn't hope.
I mean,
I wouldn't think.
Are you going to really fall to that?
Why are you asking me? You don't know what I believe.
No,
I know.
I'm talking
just talking to people in general.
People in general.
Yeah.
Are you going to be that fucking crazy that you believe something so, you believe in a man that doesn't know you or care about you? That you believe in something so strongly, you're going to shoot a friend,
right,
or a brother, or now. That being said, I know. When was it? I think it was just like the last year or two. There was the Packers versus Dallas, I think, and Dallas lost at the very last to the Packers, and two twin brothers who argued about that, because one was a Packer fan, one was a Dallas fan, argued about that game so much that Dallas fan shot his other brother.
Yeah, I remember that. That's absurd, man.
I'm sure they were drunk.
Yeah, but that's
are
crazy.
We really going to get to that because we're so freaking stupid and just hell-bent on something that you don't even know the guy, and you're going to throw yourself all into it?
But you got to remember, people are just, and this is going back to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Political parties were, there still are.
Well, go back to John Wilkes Booth.
You stand firmly in your beliefs, because I remember just roundabout conversation, people asking other people, "Hey, who'd you vote for?" And they're like, "How freaking dare you ask me what?" It's like, really?
Yeah.
Over what you voted for? You're that cutthroat. Yeah, it's like, it's just a person. You're one person's vote and many.
Yeah.
You can't really tell somebody else. I didn't ask the question. I saw somebody else asking this question. Did it was family members, not mine, but somebody else's.
Did you read back in 2016, or it was going in, for that election then? There was a guy who was arrested because he was going around asking people, who'd you vote for? And if they said anybody Democrat, he stabbed him right there on the spot.
That's crazy. That's ridiculous.
Really, is that the kind of people you are?
Yes, unfortunately, that's not me personally, but society everybody has an agenda, and it's just like, I don't know what makes people think theirs should be better than anybody else's, but it's just like, at the end of the day, man.
If that's what you want to do, and that's the kind of stuff you want to follow,
right,
then you're the sheep.
Yeah.
You're the sheep.
Yeah.
And
but it's just craziness. So No, believe what you want to believe, people. We're not here to. We're not that type of show, political show. We're not going to get into the politics side of things. It's just I found this fascinating because it's so relevant to even to today, possibly. Right. So going back, we stopped off with Abraham Lincoln. We know what happened with him. Next one up was 1880. James A. Garfield. He was assassinated. I don't know if I should go through all these real quick here.
Yeah.
Assassin was Charles Guiteau. I don't speak French. His motive was revenge against Garfield for imagined political debt. Excuse me. He was convicted of murder and executed by hanging 1 year after the shooting, but he was mad about a debt, basically, or imagined debt that Garfield supposedly owed him. Which, I mean, I'm sure it had to do with politics and whatnot.
Possibly.
So, after 1880, we went 1900s. William McKinley, also assassinated.
Guy walked right up in the crowd and shot him.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then it's every 20 years. Well, in a matter of speaking. Next guy up after that was Warren G. Harding. He had a heart attack in office. Now, that was an assassination attempt, but still, it's a 20-year curse. Continue on. 1940s, Franklin D. Roosevelt, cerebral hemorrhage. He was supposed to be going to do a talk, and just told his wife, "Hey, I don't feel very good. I have a bad headache. I'm gonna go lay down or whatever a little bit, or whatever it was." And then he ended up dying from that cerebral hemorrhage.
Speaking of him, I just recently saw a photograph that was supposed to be his last photograph he ever sat for.
Oh, really?
And just
is it one
days later,
on the desk?
He's not at a desk. He's just kind of sitting in his chair.
Oh,
but they said that this is his last photograph before just days later he died.
That's crazy. It's so weird. I mean, just how you can be here 1 minute and next gone that quick. I mean, and anyways, 1940 from there, 1960 we all know about John F. Kennedy assassinated.
Yeah.
So then it went to 1980. So there was a 40 years gap in between there. There's probably some things that didn't happen. But Ronald Reagan had an assassination attempt. I was around for that. I was old enough to remember that on TV because it was just they saw him walking out of the building and what's his name walks up to him. I can't remember the guy's name.
That was 1980?
That was 1980, yep.
Man, I remember family, seeing it on the news and stuff. I mean, I was only 3 years old at the time. But later on, I read up into it. My God. He didn't really know he was shot until he got in the car.
Because he hit him on the side.
Yeah.
It was John Hinckley Jr., that's who it was. That tried to kill him. And they were on him quick. Secret Service was right there.
Oh, yeah, but it was another guy there who was shot, and he's paralyzed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that part.
It's part of the administration. He was standing next to him. He got hit with one of the bullets, too, and he was paralyzed, and it even affected the way he talked. I can't remember what his name was.
I was trying to find.
Yeah.
It says Reagan was seriously wounded by a .22 long rifle. The bullet ricocheted off the side of the presidential limousine, hit him in the left underarm, breaking a rib, puncturing a lung, and causing serious internal bleeding. But, I mean, he survived, obviously.
Yeah.
The thing that was funny is I forgot about this. Sometime later, because he served 2 terms, he was at a building, or he was at a talk, giving a talk somewhere, and a balloon popped. And he was in the middle of his talk, the balloon popped, boom, he goes, "You missed me," and kept on going without missing a beat. That was Reagan. That will always be one of my favorite moments about Reagan. Is the fact he's like, "You missed me."
I loved him.
Which is kind of odd because people were saying that he did some bad things for politics, depending on what side of the fence you're on. But I mean, you got Reagan, who was a famous movie actor, and you got Donald Trump, who was not a politician, was a businessman. So it's kind of similar. You got guys playing, what do you call it? Politics or sorry, god damn it. What do you call them? Fuck, I just said the word. God damn it. I'm choking on my own spit over here. Hold on. Playing, politicians and but no, I mean, but they did their own fair share of good things and bad things along the way. We're not here to discuss that, but still.
At least one of them could actually have a normal conversation and talk.
But could he? I mean, I wasn't around for that.
For a lot of
TV wasn't around for that.
For a lot of stuff that he did, he had some good speeches and stuff like that.
It was days before Twitter. Who knows what these guys would have had Twitter? What would have happened?
I mean, I've listened to his speeches and stuff. I've gone back and looked at him, but toward the end, the Alzheimer's and dementia was starting to kick in.
Yeah,
I even have a book that has original speech that he wrote himself. And it starts off really well, and then it just goes crazy. He starts talking about Thanksgiving last year and what he had and how good the turkey was, and it's sad because his mind was really deteriorating.
Right.
And if you go back and watch the videos of his speeches and stuff, there was a guy, I don't know who he was. He was, I guess, chief of staff or somebody. He would reach over and tap his watch and tell Reagan to like stop or
time to wrap it up.
Or time to wrap it up.
Wow.
And he'd look and be like, "Okay, gotta go, everybody. Thank you." You know, and it was like this guy helped regulate Reagan.
Yeah, it's all about your image.
Because he does. You see this guy on several times, you know, tap his watch, and it's just sad. They said the administration was really kind of running it toward the end there. Just his brain was not, and it's sad because that just sucks.
Like Reagan was president when I was born. I was born in '82, so. But he was always one of my favorites. Like looking back, not because he was president when I was born, but I felt like he did some good. And Lincoln was always another favorite, and my nieces live in Illinois.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And went to his grave. We went to his grave and his house and stuff. So I love looking back at.
You know, and Lincoln is considered like one of the number one presidents. You know, everybody wants to.
Depends on what side you're on.
I know, but a lot of them love him. I mean, regardless of the side, you know, he's.
I'm just saying because you know those people down in the Confederacy probably have down south have a different opinion of him.
They do, and they will.
Even to this day.
Oh yeah.
They still curse his name, which is crazy to think. That was 18.
Even though it's been 100 years, and you just need to let that shit go.
1860, you know.
Let it go.
65.
I mean, live in today. Worry about today. Stop worrying about so much of what happened 100 freaking years ago, and 100 and plus years ago.
Sure.
Let's live today.
Yep. But going on after Reagan, some time had passed, but in 2000s, there was an attempt on George W. Bush's life. I don't remember this. I need to read this real quick here. I don't remember it.
I think I remember that.
Vladimir I can't say the last name. Aratunian. He was a Georgian national who attempted to assassinate him. He tried throwing. Oh, that's right. He tried throwing a Russian-made hand grenade at him when he was talking at somewhere, and it didn't detonate.
This is Little Bush.
Yeah,
okay.
Little Bush.
Sorry.
No, it's funny because Comedy Central used to have a cartoon called Little Bush that was freaking awesome. Think about that. No. I love that show. It was hilarious.
I like Bush. Little Bush. I like him.
Sorry.
What?
Nothing. You said I like Bush.
We're on the same wavelength.
We are. He goes, I like Bush. I'm being juvenile. Sorry. Anyways,
no,
but anyway,
George Bush. I like him.
I did too. I mean. 9/11, yes, the whole thing about the weapon of mass destruction bullshit. But we won't go there. Yeah. But he did some. I like the 9/11 stuff that
I blame more Cheney than
he
him.
was able to handle. I mean, he kept his head, and I think he did some good things that get us to where we are today. So that's what we'll leave it at that. But no, this guy threw a Russian-made hand grenade at him, and it missed. I guess it missed him like 60 feet to the right or somewhere, whatever else, and it didn't detonate. But they were on him real quick and. Said he was arrested and sentenced to life in prison. But I don't remember that at all.
I briefly do.
Yeah, I just don't remember that. But it still fits that whole 20-year curse. And then, like I said, leading up to today's date, 2020, Biden was elected. You don't hope anything happens to this guy's a person. At the end of the day, whether you on the right side, left side, doesn't matter. In the middle. This is somebody's dad, brother, uncle, whatever that you're wishing ill on, and even Trump for that matter. I mean, it's a person.
Wish him dead. No,
God, Jason,
I don't wish him dead. No.
And that's how we lost Cryptic Heartland, and Jason got arrested.
I said I don't wish him.
No, dead. I know. You just got to choose your words carefully.
I don't care.
I'm just giving you crap.
It's not any worse than what he has said on live camera, and it's not any worse than a lot of people who support him.
We're not doing politicals.
I'm just saying
politics right now. I'm just kidding around. You're doing shit, dude.
I know.
No, but anyways, yeah. But still, it's somebody's. He's a human at the end of the day, and if you have any sense of, I don't know.
You're
saying no. Because, us as individuals, if you don't wish
people wishing for civil war.
I know.
Are they good people?
Maybe at one time, maybe not in the right state of mind. Probably not. Maybe because they're wishing bad stuff.
Fight people just because they have a difference of opinion.
Yep. Because what it boils down to, this is my own personal soapbox, what it boils down to, I don't care what side of the fence you're on. I don't care who you are as a white, black, brown, purple, whatever, male, female. I don't care. As long as you can come in and do the things you say you're going to do as a president and show good, positive change, not take us further. Well, that too, yeah. Not take us further into whatever, and ruin the country. Basically, nobody ever lives up to their big talk. They always say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and they do some things. They do some things that are bad, whatever.
And that goes for every branch.
It's going to be that way forever.
It goes from every branch, too.
Right.
They get elected to go do and help the country, and they don't.
Because at the end of the day, they're also going to, they may have some crazy-ass ideas, but then you have checks and balances. They're going to check them, and you can't do that.
Yeah.
You may say that, and don't quit saying that, by the way, but you can't do that. So, anyways, that's just, I thought it was odd that, this whole thing popped up about this curse. I never heard of it. I mean, and as always, I like those, we talk conspiracies a lot, and that's why this episode's, titled Conspiracies. Because leading up here in 2 weeks, we got one of the best conspiracies that we love to talk about, JFK, the 22nd.
Who's that? Are we going?
He's on my list. No, we can't. I can't, and I have to work stuff around here, too. Anyways, but we're going to have a special show that night, because I got some guests I'm working on getting on here that we're going to have some debates with and talk with, and it's going to be a fun night, I believe.
I don't want to know. I just want to come to the show and just do it.
Yep, so.
Okay.
David Metzler said, vote for Pedro.
Vote for Pedro.
Heck yeah, dude.
I don't know. I couldn't sit through that movie at all.
You didn't sit through the movie?
Oh, I did. I watched it once. But
it's dry. You need to watch it again. It's funny. It has its moments.
I know. I probably should. Corey loves it. Her and her. Yeah. They love it. And I'm like,
there's some good one-liners in there.
I own it, so I need to watch it again. Go for Pedro.
See, at the end of the day, if you can't have a laugh about this shit,
I just remember him throwing the football and then running to the fence and then
just
falls over the fence.
Right,
and
it's
keeps on running.
What is that about? Well, how's that? Okay, but yeah, still it's dumb humor,
Yeah,
so
it's good.
So be it. So no, have you guys? You've never seen it?
I've seen bits and pieces, but not the full.
It's okay.
It's very interesting to say the least. If it's not your humor,
you've got to spare 2 hours of your life that you don't wish back,
It's just some of the stuff in there. You're like, what the hell did I just see? Because it's so dumb and left field, or you're like, what is this crap?
Off the
it's
topic
crazy.
of watching a movie that you just wish you could have your life back, but you just want to see it. So Corey and her kids wanted me to watch Joe Dirt, so I did.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was good, I'm like, okay, that made me laugh. It was kind of funny.
You said anything about Joe Dirt, I'm going to throw you out of the room.
Then I watched part 2.
Oh, I've never seen part 2. Yeah, you can't.
I watched part 2.
Right.
And Corey hadn't seen it either, so we rented it, and we're watching it. We're by ourselves, and we're just watching it. It's so awful.
I figured.
So horribly awful.
All of those movies.
It's a horrible rendition of The Christmas Carol, where... with Scrooge and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's goes into this other dimension type where he's trying to find his happiness and stuff like that. So stupid.
Yeah.
I fell asleep. She fell asleep. I wake up and the movie's still on, and I almost kind of wanted to cry.
Yeah.
That the movie's still on, and I couldn't reach the remote because she was asleep. And I couldn't reach it, and I'm
so you had to suffer through it.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, so go on.
So you're right. The most important thing was Brittany Daniel in there again because she was. Yes. She plays Brandy, his love interest. She was hot. Anyways, it is hot. So, anywho, moving on. No kidding. All those movies are like that. They're hard to do because Super Troopers 2 was that way. So was Anchorman 2. I mean, the first ones were better. Sucked, and some of it's the same jokes, just twisted a little bit. It's hard to make a good sequel to a classic.
I heard there's a possibility of Step Brothers 2.
Yes, cool. I've heard that too, which I hope they don't butcher that one.
I know.
The first one's a classic too. I mean, it has its own
He said he'll never do a sequel to Elf. He did that. It was awesome, and he's leaving it alone.
One take. Yeah. It's funny. I just saw a video about Will Ferrell. This is going to be off topic. Well, not really off topic. Will Ferrell was talking about, he was on a show called, it's a British show called Graham Norton. Excuse me, I apologize. I've got something in my throat here. Probably, never mind, I won't go there. I was going to say probably getting attacked from all the political talk. Getting attacked to the airwaves. Anyways, he does this show, and he gets all these celebrities on there, and Will Ferrell was on there with Mark Wahlberg. And it's when they were doing the movie, what's it called? Stepdad? Or not Stepdad, what the hell is it called? I can't remember what it's called.
Magic Mike.
Daddy's Home.
That one, Daddy's Home. Anyways, they was on there, and there's a video that's talking about this too. And he said he was at Will Ferrell was talking to them about. He's like, I'm at my son's or wherever, one of my child's soccer games. He's one of the coaches or whatever, and the guy comes up to him. He's like, he has this Anchorman mustache. And he's like, you look familiar. And he's like, yeah, okay. And he's like, are you that actor? And he's like, okay, yeah. He's like, is that mustache real? And he looked at his wife. He's like, Yeah, no, honey, I just put this mustache on to come so I can be in disguise to go coach my son's soccer team. He grew it real for the Anchorman, I guess. It's not a fake, prop. It's just funny the fact it's like there's some guy's like, no, I'm trying to disguise myself with a fake mustache, and it's just like, no, this is real, dude. I didn't come out here just to hide from everybody. I'm here to enjoy my son's soccer game. Leave me alone, you idiot. So it's just the main thing about that. Sorry, off on a tangent, but anywho, moving on. So, what do you guys think about that whole curse thing? Is it a real curse? Is it just coincidental? We've talked about the similarities with JFK and Lincoln with the secretary thing. I mean, we'll go there in a minute. Hold on. Oh, man, go back to the curse of Tippy Canoe. What do you think about that 20-year curse? I mean, it's not every 20 years like clockwork.
Yeah,
it's just always on the presidential when you get elected with a 20 divisible.
Is it a curse or is it just human life? Every so often,
a lot of assassinations, though, man.
Yeah,
I didn't realize how many assassinations there were.
I mean, hence right
politics.
Now, more than ever.
I feel like it could be possible, like naming off some of those names, and was it which one had the
cerebral hemorrhage?
Yeah.
Roosevelt.
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Excuse me.
That may not be right. That could have been the way he was intended to go, since it wasn't a bombing, it wasn't a shooting.
Right, yeah. Right. And one of them had a heart attack.
You
Harding had a heart attack.
You missed one.
I didn't miss one.
There was an assassination attempt on Teddy Roosevelt.
But he wasn't elected in the 20s.
I know.
Yeah, I know he was too.
It was the story is, he was about ready to do a speech, and some guy came over and shot him.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of rushing out of there and going to get treatment, he just gets it a little packed up and goes and does a speech with a bullet wound and bleeding
from
his chest, and it's just like,
crazy.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
And he gets up there, does his speech, and then he goes and gets medical attention.
Right.
It's like...
I think it's definitely possible, I think anything's possible.
Oh, sure, yeah.
With some of those, like Lincoln and stuff being similar.
And,
oh, it's so crazy.
And it's the way things have been crazy.
Yeah. Like I said, you don't wish anybody ill will.
Yeah, definitely not.
But it happens to be that time, and, this whole animosity we have going in our country right now over this whole thing is... God, what if it happens again? History, because history does have a way of repeating itself. That's a given.
To handle the next second, you never know.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, for this, I don't know. It could be a curse that it just happens.
Mm-hmm.
Could be just the fact that we can't handle our own political system in life or ourselves.
Right.
And then we're just crazy.
Yeah, that too.
You've got the Superman curse,
Yeah.
But there's been 4 Supermen since.
Well,
yeah.
But some of them had their own ways. Christopher Reeves was Superman. He ended up falling off a horse,
right.
paralyzed,
He's part
and
of the curse thing.
Yeah, what I'm
but
saying.
We've had,
oh, you mean 4 that weren't?
Yeah,
I got
four that weren't.
Yeah,
that are
Brandon
since
Rose,
then.
And Henry Cable and.
Yeah, we have Lois and Clark. We have the Arrowverse.
Lois and Clark.
Yeah, we have the Arrowverse Superman.
Yeah.
We have the Superman Returns.
Right.
We have the one that I like is Henry Cavill.
Yeah, I like him as a Superman.
Who's about to be Superman again for multiple movies. So
yeah.
It's just like, so I feel like that curse may have kind of passed. Possibly.
But their lives are,
possibly.
I mean,
they're all doing
they're still
well.
alive now. Doesn't mean they can't be dead tomorrow.
Well.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 of them have actually suited back up for Superman again for the Arrowverse stuff.
Right.
But even Nicolas Cage.
Oh God.
Do you remember that?
It was Kevin Smith's version of it. Yeah. Which Kevin Smith I love. I love his movies. Love his humor. But Nicolas Cage, I just don't see it.
I know. Oh,
that wasn't even him. No, that wasn't him. That was what do you call it? Wasn't that Tim
Burton's? Guy who did Beetlejuice.
Tim Burton's going to be his version of it, which is so not surprising.
In the blue suit.
Yeah,
all blue
that's
suit.
What it was.
Blue, black, and silver.
That's when Kevin Smith said he couldn't do it. He's like, "No, I'm not going to do this. This is what
if you ever see the photographs, it's an awful looking.
That's what it was. So, we talked about briefly. We touched upon the Kennedy-Lincoln curse, or not curse, just the similarities, which is a huge
weird
thing.
Repeating of history and all that.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic. We've covered it before a long time ago. We can talk about it real quick now, or not real quick, just in general right now.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up real quick because I can't remember all of them. I know the one that sticks out to me is the secretary.
Yeah, Secretary of State.
Well, no, they're secretaries.
Oh, they're secretaries.
Because one of them was Lincoln's secretary's last name was Kennedy, and Kennedy's secretary's last name was Lincoln. So that was 6 degrees kind of slimmer, or whatever you want to call it. Separations, the similarities. Similarities and coincidences is what it's called. Let's see what we got here. I don't know. Do you remember any, Jason?
Yeah.
Well, spit them out.
Sorry. Booth shoots.
Oh, yeah.
In a theater and vacates and goes to a barn/warehouse type thing.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas, I totally just lost my train of thought.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
Who shot or supposedly shot Kennedy? I lost my train of thought.
Okay. Some of the things were Lincoln's name has 7 letters, Kennedy's last name
just
has
ignored me with that.
7 letters. Well, because I thought you were thinking still.
No,
you were asking me.
I'm asking you.
Oh, who shot him? Who shot Kennedy?
Yeah, Oswald.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Oswald. My brain went.
Am I going to make you leave the studio right now on that bullshit? Come on. We talk about him.
You're the one that just totally ignored my question.
I thought you were just making...
No. So, okay, so back to it. So,
sorry.
Booth shoots from a theater, goes to like a warehouse /
mafia?
barn.
I'm kidding.
Then you got Oswald, who shoots from a warehouse and runs and flees to a theater.
Right.
And that's how, that's true. One little thing that they have.
Right. Sorry, my bad. Says Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846, while Kennedy was elected to Congress in 1946. I mean, that's one little thing. He was elected president in 1860. Kennedy was elected president in 1960. So, I mean, that's that.
Just like history repeating itself. Both dealt with civil rights.
I was going to say, war was thrust upon both of them almost immediately after inauguration. They both had to deal with a war situation. Yeah. Kennedy with Vietnam and Lincoln with Civil War.
All the communists and the Bay of Pigs and all that stuff where, then you got Civil War for Lincoln.
This, I never heard this one before. It says, international bankers may have arranged the assassination of both Lincoln and Kennedy. I've never heard that before.
Nope, never heard that one before.
I heard the mafia for the Kennedy one, and Wilkes Booth was kind of like not a mafia, but it was more of a...
He was part of the Union, or the Confederacy, the...
I can't think of it. It was like a political... Not a political party, but like a... Oh, fuck, I can't think. I'm losing my thoughts here.
The Golden Circle.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember that. Thank you. But... this says Lincoln gave black Americans freedom and legalized equality. Kennedy enforced equality for black Americans. I mean, I don't know. Well, this was kind of reaching a stretch, but Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address on November 19th, 1863, and we all know that Kennedy was assassinated on November 22nd, 1963. Did I say 1863 or 1963? But anyways, for Lincoln. What else we got here? They both were succeeded after the assassination on both of them by Vice President's last name Johnson's. So,
Knights of the Golden Circle.
Okay. Andrew Johnson who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. They both, Andrew Johnson and Lyndon Johnson, both names have 13 letters in them. It's just all kinds of weird. Like, somebody's done some research on this shit. Yeah, that's just a few.
A lot of time on their hands to go through and figure all that out.
So Lincoln was sitting beside his wife when he was shot. So was Kennedy, obviously. I mean, we know the infamous Jackie O. What else we got here?
Do you know if she ever spoke out about anything?
As far as what goes? Sorry?
The conspiracy, the day of the shooting. Did she ever speak publicly about it?
I think in her memoir, she has a book, I think, kind of goes into some details.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
I've never, yeah. We just know the infamous, she made it a point to wear the dress to Lyndon B. Johnson swearing,
she
whatever,
on the plane, she didn't change.
And her famous quote was, like, well, you guys got what you wanted, you bastards, basically.
I want you to see what
bastards.
You did.
Yeah, you guys got what you wanted, so.
Yeah, definitely
just kind of real.
Like that family was cursed.
Yeah, we talked about the Kennedy curse on the same Superman curse.
I was throwing
No, we've talked about that. Yeah, you're right. They have the Kennedy curse. That's a known thing. The Superman curse.
I feel like.
Oh yeah, it still goes on. Yeah, there's still stuff going on with the Kennedys. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
What was it?
I have no idea.
Okay. Sorry. There we go again.
Yeah, I mean, they just lost a niece just recently. Yeah. This year, she committed suicide.
She was like in her 20s.
Yeah, she was in her 20s. She took a bunch of pills and passed. I mean, just, yeah.
Yeah. There's other similarities I forgot. You know, both their assassins were 3-word names: John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald, and they both have 15 letters in their names each. So it's just like, holy shit, dude! How is this possible? Wilkes Booth was born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald was born in 1939. They both didn't die immediately after being shot. I mean, they didn't die like immediately, but they both died, obviously. They both died in places with letters P and H in the names. Lincoln died at... I just had it. I lost it. Shit, where'd it go? Peterson's home. Kennedy at Parkland Hospital. I mean, it's just some weird shit. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean it's... I mean, it could be. Some of these are funny, sorry.
But, you know, you remember the story of whether or not Booth actually did die.
Yeah.
In that fire.
Right. They ambushed him, caught him outside that barn.
And then they took him out, and they all said, that's not him. And then they took the body, and Johnson...
Right.
Kept because he was put onto that submarine that they had, and it was guarded.
Right.
There's no photograph of the body, which he's the man that killed the president. There's no photograph of the body. They got Wilkes Booth.
Right.
Yeah,
they got Jesse James. There's no photograph of Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
Which goes to the question: was he or was he not? But yeah, they didn't even take a picture of John Wilkes Booth. They just took. I heard they took one photograph. Johnson kept it. Maybe destroyed it. But since then, you know, there's all these stories of a guy who later on in life claimed to be him and knew all the stories.
Remember that.
Looked just like him, and then he tried to commit suicide by drinking poison or arson. Mm-hmm. Whatever happened, like, mummified the body.
Yeah.
And then he was, like, passed around at different circuses as John Wilkes Booth mummy.
Yeah.
And then it's been forever lost.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Look that up.
Yeah, we talked about it on an early episode.
Yeah, look it up. John Wilkes Booth mummy sometime.
Yeah.
Okay. It's crazy. And the whole story, the whole story of it is crazy. He wasn't the one that went to the barn, and there's another guy who was. It was kind of like a conspiracy to, like, save Booth. Yeah. And the guy who was actually shot had red hair and freckles.
Yeah.
But had the same kind of beard and stance and, or, you know, same height and all that. Kind of looked like him maybe in the face, but they played it off as him. The Union soldiers were like, that's not him. Yeah. But we're going to take him. If we say he's dead, maybe he'll just go away. You know, that kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a crazy conspiracy, too. That's just...
So, in a way... So, was it the dead body passed around at the circus, the fake guy?
No, that's the real guy.
Oh, the real guy, okay.
Yeah. It was like a deathbed confession. The guy wanted to be known. So the real John Wilkes Booth, like, wanted to... He fell in love, but he was so pissed that nobody wanted to, like, shake his hand and cheer for him that he killed the president. Hey, good job, buddy. No, everybody, like, turned their backs on him, and he was reading that in the papers, and everybody was like, we hate you and everything. And he's like, well, this isn't how I turned out. And you know, he wanted to be a hero. He was already a well-known actor.
Right.
He wanted to be a hero. I mean, even his own brother saved Lincoln's son from a train accident.
Yeah.
You know, and said, you know, hey, I'm a huge fan of your father. And, you know, and Lincoln's son said, well, my dad's a huge fan of yours, you know. But
is that karma in a way?
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know. So this guy, the real John Wilkes Booth, takes a photograph, and he even, like, has, like, his fake name to it, but it's like a dead ringer for John Wilkes Booth. He falls in love, gets married under this fake name, and then he finally tells her, like, hey, this isn't my real name. And so she gets pissed. It's not because he's John Wilkes Booth, but because they got married under a different name, and she's like, well, I want to be married under your real name. So they go to a church to get married, just the two of them and the preacher, and he signs his own name, John W. Booth.
Right.
And you can see that today, John W. Booth.
Does it match?
Pretty close. I mean, I think they must have, but they have it. I mean, it's
Right.
out there. It's fun to like dive into the wormholes of this and the rabbit hole of this, and just.
I guess I watch too many crime shows because, like.
You're talking the 1800s, so you know they're doing their best to like look at that. But I think whoever has a photograph of that book where he signed and the paperwork, it looks pretty damn close to his actual signature.
And he was probably not used to writing that by that point, being under
Possibly.
Right.
Possibly.
false alias.
Just like, you know, the Jesse James conspiracy, if we're going to go back to that for a second.
Nope.
There's an old guy who, you know, went to old guy who went to the last Confederacy members celebration, and he's standing there in the photograph. He doesn't want to really look at the camera, but he's there. But he signs his name, Jesse Woodson James.
Yeah. Looks just
on
like
the
him,
books and everything.
That's awesome.
And everyone's like, that's him. That's the guy. And his family said anytime the family needed money on the farm here in Kansas, he'd just be like, I'll be back in a couple of days. And he'd ride off because of all the robberies and stuff that they continued on even after his death, possibly. He'd come back with money in jars, mason jars and stuff. I'm always hitting this. But, you know, so, I mean, it's crazy. It's just...
Yeah, I love
history goes on. We're told a certain way in life and in school, but did it really happen that way?
Well,
nobody knows.
I feel like, you know, what Leo said about the presidents, and it's not only that you see history repeating, like hairstyles, clothes, and all other things, like continuously repeat.
Yeah, I mean, we get bored. I mean, that's human life. We get bored and we just... What can we do and reinvent today, you know?
Right.
We're going to have long hair and curls tomorrow.
You're going to have a mullet.
No.
Come on, break the mullet out.
Can't do it. Won't do it. No, but, you know, I mean, we get bored. I mean, we're supposed to, like, already be flying in cars by now, you know?
Right.
Right.
It's 2020 and almost 2021, and we're still not.
We're still back in the future.
You're right.
Yeah. I love that movie.
Just a couple more things, and we'll wrap up on this subject with the conspiracies as far as Lincoln, Kennedy, and all that stuff. This is kind of like a joke kind of a thing, but it's not really whatever. Anyways, it said a week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland, and then a week before Kennedy was shot, he was with Marilyn Monroe. Or it says was in Marilyn Monroe. That's whatever. No, it kind of reminds me, I forgot about this when we were talking about things. We did an investigation. I won't say where it's at. It was a theater in Kansas here. And one of the claims was the owner, or not the owner, the person that worked there, would see a shadow member jumping off this thing from the left stage.
Right.
Used to be a speaker up there, or not anymore. Or there's a speaker there now.
There's a huge speaker up there, and that's where they'd always see this shadow figure or figure up there.
Jumping off there onto the stage and running. And
the left-hand side of the stage. The stage is right there.
And I don't know why it popped in my head. I was like, that night, I was like, are we seeing history maybe, but not in the same location? Is this John Wilkes Booth supposedly killing Lincoln? Possibly. It was just...
Well, what was crazy is just right around the corner from that theater, the history in that town says Lincoln did a town hall conference or talk right there at the corner.
Right.
So... Who's to say
that's what made me think
Booth
about
didn't follow him around to all of his talks?
Right.
Looking for a moment or time or chance.
And what are the odds of happening in Kansas? That little piece of history captured in film or like residual kind of, but not in the actual location it happened.
What if
happens here?
What if
in the same act? Sorry, go ahead.
No, what if it's because of people who are so into the history of it, knowing that Lincoln was right there, did a speech and everything, and it's a well-known thing in the town that... What if a part of that residual is happening?
It blew my mind that night.
You know, you talk about it enough, it happens.
It blew my mind that night because once I started putting the pieces together slightly, I'm like, "What is this? Is this even possible? This is something that you don't really hear about in our paranormal world."
You guys just made me remember something when I went to.
Hey, Carl, what's up? Sorry, Carl's watching too. I was just saying hi to everybody that jumps on.
When I went to Lincoln's tomb and home.
Oh yeah.
Only home that him and Mary Todd Lincoln ever owned. It's owned by the National Park Service in that whole block.
Yeah.
Now they redid the homes like they were back then, the cobblestone streets and stuff.
That's cool.
But we had time because you had to get a ticket. It was free, but you had to get a ticket for a time before you could go in. I stood out there taking pictures of the house beforehand, several like succession, like we talked about, to do on investigations, and then several inside. And one of those pictures that I have that I got, there's a figure in the window. And I don't know if it's Lincoln but when you're in there on the tour, that specific window, you couldn't get close to it because they had just like a walkway to get through that bedroom. So I was like, huh.
And what city?
Springfield, Illinois.
Illinois.
All right.
I passed by there. I've always wanted to stop.
I've been to there once, I think.
It's really neat. My
Twice.
brother and them were back up there last weekend.
Oh, man.
It's really nice.
Wow.
I want to see it.
Everything's so close to us. We just need to. Okay, I'm taking a week off. See you later.
Just a weekend. Yeah, just
No, a
drive
week.
I know, a week. I know.
We have to go to California. We have to go to Illinois. We have to go to Washington for Bigfoot. We got to do all kinds of shit. We got to do. I know you're going up there
Yeah,
next year.
Next year.
I'm talking about groups and shit, and whatnot. Yeah.
You're not following me to Washington. Sorry.
Well,
You're gonna pay for us to go, you said?
One can drive, some can sleep, and we switch off.
well, no. It'll be my honeymoon, so I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, that's true.
You guys stay home.
Honeymoon's honeymoon. I'm just kidding. No, but it's just.
I'll give you the wrong city that we're going to.
Yeah, I don't get to go to Washington.
Well, Paranormal Sarah.
She was watching tonight too, by the way.
Shout out to her.
Yep.
What lake was that?
What you talking about?
Don't you remember the conversation?
Well, it depends. Like what? Oh, up there in Washington.
Up there, in Washington.
I don't remember off the top of my head now.
Dang it! I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. What about the story? You're gonna try to visit?
No, it's just be a cool place to go. I mean, they're supposed to be. Supposedly, you can go up there and see UFOs doing, up there all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, possibly even see creatures from it, or beings, not creatures.
That was the flower daddy. She's looking forward to get her.
To
take her up there. Like I said, I'm not a flower child, or a daddy. I don't have no money, but we can go up there too. At the same time, we can. I would love to go investigate. I want to work with her on a couple of things. We've been talking off camera with her. And
absolutely.
Stuff. She's gonna be back on the show here probably around December. She has some stuff going on, personal, and also. I'm not personally, but I'm just saying with her stuff she does, and plus she's supposed to be going to Savannah, Georgia for an event, which we'll see if that happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's coming back on the show soon enough, and I saw her shooting on the chat earlier, which was awesome. So good friend of ours, I feel now, and I can't wait to pick her brain apart because we didn't get a chance to talk about some cool stuff.
I hate that I didn't get a chance to meet her in Kansas City. So.
Oh really? She talked right before we went up on stage and talked.
Yeah, I was, I think, too nervous about going up there and talking.
You know me, I'm always bullshitting. So I was up there, and that one guy from the crowd goes, "Can I ask a question?" Because she was going to find out questions. That guy goes, "Can I have a hug?" That guy did. She's like, "Sure." So he came with her and gave her a hug. So I walked in. I'm like, "Oh, you giving out a free hug? Can I have a hug too?" So she gave me a hug. Just me. I don't give a shit. I talk shit nonstop, no matter where I am. So. But it was fun. It was a good talk. It was a good time. And hopefully we can get back up there. I know there's some talk. When Jason was on our show, Jason Kupsik, talked about there being no more KC Paracon. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Are you going to do them anymore?
There's a chance. Probably not.
Yeah. That's why this last one, he told us on our episode a couple weeks ago, and he was here in the studio with us, he said that was why the last one was such a big to do with Grant Wilson to everybody.
He went big to do it one last
hurrah, because he just said it takes a lot of time away from his family and a lot of research and a lot of phone call and whatnot. So that's why the last one was supposed to be the big to do, and then COVID happened and of course put a damper on that shit. So it sucks, but well, we'll figure it out. So no, in due time. Hey, what's up, Cindy? And Jen and everybody else, David. Just like I said, there's just a lot of weird stuff happening. 2020 has been a weird year. I was talking to my wife earlier about.
It hasn't just been this year. I mean, it's been a weird year.
Well, for me personally, yes. For me personally, yes. This has been a shitty year for me. I can vouch to that.
Yeah, it has been.
I mean, I can go to details, but I don't want to bore people with that. But so I've lost people to COVID. I mean, family members and stuff. I've lost 2 grandpas this year, and yes, it's been a shitty year for me.
It's been a shitty year.
Just other things going on, just weird shit occurring. What I was talking to my wife about was the fact that it's just weird that it seems like the quality of people, like celebrities that are dying, have been really I mean, yes, they're getting older. Like Sean Connery passing away just recently.
Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek was today or yesterday.
Yeah, today.
Yeah, it's just the level of celebrities. It's not your typical one-offs. Oh, that person died. Elvis died.
We're missing it.
A lot of people.
It's a lot of people. Like Sean Connery was 91.
Something like that. And of course, he had pancreatic cancer, which is inoperable.
I didn't hear what he had.
He had cancer. I want to say it was either prostate or pancreatic. If it's pancreatic, there's no.
Stage 3 when they
there's no coming back. Yeah, it was right. It was stage 3, and he was still trudging on, even doing shows. Trying to stay with it as much as he could, and then just end up.
You're talking Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek. Sorry.
Yeah, he was. I was thinking.
Oh,
I was talking about James Bond. So he was 90. He was 91.
Yeah, he was
that
older.
Was more natural causes.
Just old age. But still, it's just the fact that it's happening this year. It's like, holy shit, this is going to be the year that everyone's going to remember.
Dad passed away.
Yeah. Indiana Jones' dad. Yeah.
At least we still have Betty White.
But I'm glad she's still around too. But she's just they wheeled her out at one of those award shows in the last 2-3 years. Man, she wasn't mentally there. It was sad to see, because she was spunky, hosting SNL and whatever else and
even
shit.
3, 4, 5 years ago, she was doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's just like recent years that you can tell his age is starting to kick in a little bit. It's like fuck. Yeah. All the good ones, well, and we're getting older, so of course it's bound to happen. People we grew up with, on TV and whatnot are going away. It's just like, fuck, why this year? Enough already. And we still have a month and a half left, motherfucker. Sorry. I hope we all survive, That's all I can say. But, yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, it's been a strange year. But, yeah, I don't know. Where we go from there? We got about 15 minutes left in the show, roughly. 17 to be exact. Okay, bye. No, I'm kidding. So, just crazy stuff, conspiracies and whatnot. I mean, yes, we don't always talk about paranormal stuff here. We talk about everything, politics to religion to conspiracies to all that fun stuff. Sometimes we've done nothing but conspiracy shows, and it ties into the paranormal. We talked about the poltergeist curse before, how everybody on the show had, not everybody, obviously Joe Beth Williams and with the dad's name, I can't remember his name. They're still living.
Yeah.
But like the main actress, she's passed away in a weird stomach issue.
Yeah.
And then the oldest daughter was killed, by a strange person. Or was it ex-boyfriend? Or was it just a random stalker? Yeah. But there's always just weird things. Now, do you believe in curses like that? You think it is a thing, or is it just coincidental with that?
Curses kind of rank up there with me with the whole portal stuff. But, I'm coming around. Coming around.
It's hard to put a finger on it, basically, because
I like talking about it.
Oh, I did too. I love conspiracy.
I just don't know. Is it real? Is it not real? I don't know.
I mean, it's just you can probably put a curse on anything. Not put a curse on it. That sounds bad. No voodoo shit. You could probably pinpoint 6 degrees of separation or whatever with curses to even your own lives, possibly. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like I'm cursed most days, which I probably am. Some of the shit we've been to and seen.
Yeah.
But no, I just didn't know. What do you think, Andy? Do you think curses are real, or is it a thing, or is it just something to keep their memories alive or talk about?
I guess I'm kind of on the fence. Like, stuff I've read about curses and voodoo and stuff, maybe some things in history are accurate about those, but are they really? So I'm kind of back and forth.
Right. No, I get it. It's hard to say. I mean, nobody's ever going to come out and say, yeah, that was a curse because this doesn't happen, and this is why. Yeah. I mean, it's all...
To me, I think it kind of goes back to how open are you really to certain things.
Yeah.
Like going to New Orleans this summer for the first time and voodoo being big.
Right. Okay, let's go with that for a minute. How did you feel? What did the city feel like? Could you feel any kind of... Does it have like a dark cloud over it when you go in there? Does it feel a little off energy-wise? I mean, I'm just asking, or did you even notice anything like that at all?
I guess different areas maybe did feel heavier.
Sure.
Like we were supposed to do, like the major 3 cemeteries in town, you can only get into by a tour.
Right.
And it's done by the Catholic Diocese, and that got canceled. We got the call on the way down because of COVID. And
sure.
we went like late June, and I figured it'd be like Vegas from what everybody told me, that it'd be packed full of people.
Right.
And we went. I mean, we had our masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, everything. So we were careful.
Yeah, of course.
But there was hardly anybody there.
Well, that's how Vegas was too recently.
Right.
It was shut down like that. It was empty, which is unusual. Go ahead. Sorry. Keep going.
No, you're good. And that was like I took my niece there for her graduation present, and that was the biggest thing that she wanted to do, was go to the St. Louis Cemetery #1 where Marie Laveau was. So we were both crushed. But we did go by we drove by several cemeteries, but did go into one.
Yeah.
And it was just like walking into that cemetery and even walking by cemetery #1, you could just feel like a heaviness.
Yeah.
And there were certain places in the French Quarter and then on Bourbon, like we went into a few little shops.
Yeah.
And some places, and there was voodoo dolls for sale in
of course.
different places. But
right.
It was like periodically it just hit me like heavy.
Yeah.
And then when we were by the Laurie Mansion that Nick Cage used to own, there was like a couple guys with some paranormal equipment trying to get the owner's attention, and they were. But Destiny, my niece, could feel something. She goes, I don't want to go across the street. I'm fine standing here.
Wow.
She could feel the heaviness.
Yeah. That's crazy. I just was curious on that because, I mean, there's a lot of, like you said, voodoo down there. There's the area itself, isn't it, where most of the graves on there are buried above ground because of the mosh or whatever, the swamp lands down there? They can't bury below a certain depth.
Everyone that we saw was above. When we, like our last full day, we did a boat tour through the swamp.
Yeah.
And right as we took off, I seen this graveyard. And like right there in the middle of the swamp, and I was taking pictures of it because I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the guide starts telling us that was an ancient Indian burial ground.
Oh wow.
And so I was like, Dusty and I are looking at each other like, wow. And he is telling us when the water gets high, people have to go over there, open because the doors come off with all that water.
Right.
You have to go over there and open the caskets, fill them up with water so they'll sink.
Wow.
And then once the water goes down, he goes, it smells horrible.
Oh, I bet.
But then once the water goes down, they can somehow get the water out and then put them back in their tomb.
Wow. Because that happened a lot during Katrina when the big hurricane hit. I mean, some of the stories you heard about down there, other than just people, having to deal with all that flooding, they'd find people
floating.
Well, in their houses where they try to make it, and the water was just too high, and it unfortunately took their lives and stuff. But you hear a lot about the cemeteries being.
That's what I was hearing.
Well, remember that happened down in Arizona? Remember with the was it Arizona with the tombs that floated away? Who's famous outlaw was buried down there? Where he got washed away. They don't know where his body is allegedly because of
Tombstone, Arizona.
Was it Tombstone? I feel like too. Yeah, where somebody's.
Is it Wild Bill?
I don't remember off the top of my head, and I wish I hadn't thought about it because now it's going to drive me nuts. But it's somebody famous that one of the outlaws. They don't know for sure where the body is because.
I know they don't know where Billy the Kid is.
Maybe it's Billy the Kid I'm thinking of. That's probably the one down there.
Fort Sumner in New Mexico.
Yeah, is it him?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's one. I don't know if that's the one that you're talking about because this happened like.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Decades
I feel like it's him because they can't get it accurate.
He washed away through a flood.
That's the one. That's the one. Okay, Billy the Kid.
They haven't been able to locate where he is. So
if
they were to dig him up,
you have no accurate.
There's nothing there.
Yeah,
it's just a headstone.
Yeah, that's crazy to think that still happens. I mean, it's just. Wow.
But go to Texas, dig up Brushy Bill, and Billy the Kid's right there.
Right.
So.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
I don't know what to think because they've done tests supposedly from his, DNA test from ancestors and supposedly it didn't check out. I mean, who did it and how.
I think they have gotten a lot more evidence stating that it is him.
Yeah.
Given eyewitness accounts of people who met him, who knew him,
right.
and they were outlaws together. They picked up stories back from when they were together. They rode together, and they had the same wounds. And Bill had the same wounds as Billy the Kid, and all that. And I guess the FBI actually did a face comparison, and
it lines up.
And they said honestly, it looks like the same person.
Yep.
I got a magazine at home that actually, it's all about that, and it's about the FBI looking in on this case to try to determine one way or the other it was him.
That's crazy, man.
The only reason why he didn't get his pardon when he went in there, kind of like in the movie, that's all he wanted from that reporter. It's like, can you help me? Or for that lawyer. Not reporter, but lawyer.
Right.
He went to go see the judge, or the governor, to pardon him, and it was supposed to be just a personal meeting.
Yeah.
So he can talk, go, and it was like a room full of all like the relatives of Pat Garrett and Sheriff Brady's family and all these people who hated Billy.
Right.
They were all there and present. He walked in, saw them all, recognized like who they were and stuff, and he like had a heart attack. He had a heart attack right there.
He's supposed to be pardoned,
He was gone. A week or two later, he was gone. He didn't recover from it.
So crazy, man.
All he wanted was a meeting. That's all he wanted.
Yeah.
So.
It's just crazy, man, the whole thing. I mean, just everything.
Yeah.
I'll start reading some of the chat lines.
Sorry.
No. Charles said, "Wild Bill is in Colorado, maybe. Billy the Kid was never buried there, supposedly." Yeah.
Well, I mean, his grave is there.
The body of Billy the Kid.
Yeah, his grave is there. Yeah. Supposedly, that's where after Pat Garrett shot him, that's where they interred him right there.
Because Garrett never even said that. He just never really. In his book, he wrote
the moment he was shot, when the person walked in the door,
it was dark.
His own deputies came in and said, "You just shot the wrong man."
Yeah.
And then they had a coroner come to do the death certificate. Failed twice. So Garrett forged one.
Right.
Didn't get it right, and he wasn't able to collect on his money because the state was like, "Where's the body? Where's the photograph? This is your writing. This is you. You just forged this."
Yep.
All this stuff. I mean, it was so much to it. But the fact that his own deputies didn't even believe that he shot the right person.
Yeah.
Didn't even look like him. That's why there's no photograph. That's why they put him in a casket right away, buried him, end of story.
Yeah. And then now the body washed away.
And then the body washed away.
A body washed away. Not his necessarily.
But he was buried next to Charlie, who was part of that gang.
Yep. Craziness, man.
Yeah.
That's such a good. I mean, everything. I love conspiracy. I love this whole shit. Like, we can go on for hours and days on this stuff because it's so.
We should dive into different conspiracies.
We need to
get away from the.
I tried to when we did different. That's why I brought some of the weird ones last time. Well, that was like early episodes of ours, like episode whatever.
We need to get into more of the science and UFOs and more stuff like that.
I'm kidding. No, I know we do. I know. Yeah, we do.
But other, disappearances.
When we talked about even before COVID hit, we talked about going out in the field and going and doing all that stuff, and we may have opportunity in December to go do such a thing with some buddies of ours, Jason Kupsik and Larry Buchanan.
Yeah.
From Kansas City. They invited us out, so we'll see if we can make it out there in December if weather permits.
I hope.
It's 2020, so who the hell knows what's going to happen. We'll probably get snowed out there and never found again.
Oh, jeez.
Kidding, of course. That's just some weird shit. But, no, I want to go out and do that stuff more actively. We've touched upon UFOs in our field. Some of the places we've been and seen some weird, unexplained shit. We may have even caught some weird shit.
Lights in the woods and stuff like that. Voices.
Things in buildings that we've caught that I don't know what they are. They don't look like ghost-like. They look like something else.
Yes, definitely inside a building.
That we're holding on some footage that
frick is that?
The world will eventually see here soon enough. We're just waiting for the time to bring it out. Working on a thing. So, could possibly a ghost. Could be something else. I have my own opinions. So.
Creature.
Yep. So. Yeah.
Or alien.
I don't know. I don't know what to believe, man. It was bizarre. This thing
is
tall, whatever it is.
It's good footage, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I can't wait to actually share that with people, but
time's
coming for it.
Yep. Whatever it was large.
Finishing all that up.
Yep, we will. So, well, guys, it's about that time. We got 5 minutes left. Any final thoughts or anything you want to wrap up? And I want to thank the viewers for tuning in. I love all these people that are coming in. Some people I don't even recognize before, so thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I don't know who you are, but come aboard every Sunday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on this same channel with Cryptic Heartland. We do it on Facebook, we do it on Twitch TV, we do it on YouTube, and soon to be other platforms and things. So, definitely tune in. So, but you guys have any final thoughts or anything we talked about tonight? Any takeaways or anything you want to
I think it'll be interesting to see what does come about, talking about conspiracies with all the other presidents. So it'll be interesting. Definitely see what happens. I mean, I don't wish harm on anybody.
Right.
Like we said, but.
Yeah. Sure, we're on some lists now because of what we talked about. Because they're the, what do you call it? The
watchers.
Well, I mean, anytime you mention certain keywords,
I know.
It picks up in the.
Yeah.
What the fuck's it called? Facebook.
Security.
Well, that and it's I can't remember what it's called, but anyways, yeah, it picks up.
Yeah.
It's kind of what Jason Kupsik was talking about when they got busted for some things.
Yeah.
For the talk, not busted, but made aware of. So, you gotta be careful what you say and what you do. So, but well, I'm still not afraid. If they come shut us down, so be it. You heard it here first. If we disappear one day, you know what happened. No, I'm kidding. So
I blame Leo.
Yeah. I'm always trying to stir the pot. I've been trying to get out to the fucking Westboro Baptist Church for years, and they won't come in. I've said it on our show many times. I like to have them talk on our episode. Have they done anything lately?
Or they've been, like, hiding in COVID?
Well, I mean, they kind of split up. The main younger people, like I said, her daughter.
Well, he died.
Yeah, he died. Fred Phelps died, and her daughter's still running strong. His daughter is. But her daughter left the group. Her and her sister left the group, and I would like to get her on the Megan Ropes Phelps. I'd like to get her. I think that's her name is. I might be having it backwards, but Megan Phelps was her name. I'd like to have her on the show one of these days and talk to her and just see some weird shit.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. So, but all right, people. That's Cryptic Heartland for tonight. Episode number 123. Yes, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully we'll get some of the guys back here next week, and for sure on the 22nd we're gonna have hopefully some special guests. Probably on the phone. We're gonna do another JFK conspiracy show roughly. So
very cool. I'm excited.
Yep, Charles is right. Daddy died. Yep, Fred Phelps died. So, yeah. But I don't wonder if anybody picketed at his funeral. I would have. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, well, they got on there and said, "Please don't picket our dad's funeral," and then everybody was like, "Screw you!" And I think there were people out there.
There's videos of things going on their property, like people doing some ungodful acts. People from like normal people. I say normal.
Well, they've done some ungodly things too.
There's videos out there of people doing stuff. So you get what you ask for.
Yeah, karma's a bitch. Right?
Yep. So. All right, y'all. Once again, Cryptic Heartland, episode number 123. We'll be back next week, same time, 7 to 9 Central Standard Time on Cryptic Heartland podcast. For the gang, I'm Leo. There's Jason and Andy. Hopefully we get Dan and Jake and maybe even Roth one of these days. He was supposed to be here last week, and work called, so he couldn't come in. So
Dan wasn't here because he's quarantined.
Yeah, so. Dan was...
Yeah, I don't know about Jake. I think he's out having fun.
Yeah, I know he's supposed to be going hunting next week, so he won't be here for sure next. Maybe. We'll see. So, but all right, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Good night, y'all.
See ya.
Good night.